either through drug overdose or suicide. I have a brother that's spending life in prison for murder. I have another brother who is in and out of the prison system, and I heard from him just recently to borrow money again. I have another brother who lives on the streets and who's addicted to drugs. And I have a sister who I'm very close with. Even though she's been married 5 times and can't seem to get her act together, she's my sister and I love her, and I will do anything I can for her as long as she's doing for herself. See, the one thing that is so important is that I do believe that we all fall, and we all need help getting up, but you cannot enable people. You have to give them the tools to be successful and let them be successful. You know, it's about micromanaging, you said. You know, we can't micromanage our children. We can't micromanage my relationship with my sister, even though I would love to see her do other things. I can just let her know I'm there next to her to help her. So.
Good question.
Okay. So you mentioned that the community and the entire society was expecting you to fail, because that's what we're thinking based on the negative things that happened, right? What took you? What make you feel that you have to take a different approach? I mean, do you have a vision?
You know, people say that, they ask me all the time, where did you get the even the gunk to go and I have faith. See, I don't care what anybody believes in, to be honest with you. I believed that I had a higher power that just knew that I needed to be somewhere better than where I was at the time. And whether you want to call that your God or whether you want to call that, well, it didn't matter to me what you call it. I just knew that I had this unbelievable fire inside of me that was just not going to be that, because I wanted so much more, you know.
Great question. Harry.
Well, 2 things actually. The first thing was I didn't stalk you on Facebook, but I did friend or follow Comfort Cases, and I saw that you have signed a deal with Derek Jeter Publishing for your memoir. Is that very exciting?
Yeah, I think that news came out a couple weeks ago. So
I didn't even know he had a publishing company, so that was news.
yep, he's owned a publishing company. Actually, Simon & Schuster, we're like 2 weeks away from the finishing of our book. But because of the Upworthy video, of course, everybody came out of the woodwork, and Simon & Schuster actually bought my book, and who would think a goat farmer would write a book? I'm not writing it, by the way. I have a ghostwriter, just so you all know. I barely get a sentence together. Yes, so Derek Jeter happened to read it, a couple chapters, and said, I want to be a part of this book. He only publishes 5 books a year, and they're normally sports books or books that really move people to impact their community. And he called me up and said, I want your book. And I was like, gosh, do you know who you are? And he said, yeah, I actually do. And so he's publishing our book. It'll come out November 6th.
Wow.
So we're going to get everybody a copy. Could you just
Please.
make sure we get everybody a copy of that book?
Yeah.
It's called A Forever Home, One Man, One Backpack, A World of Difference. So.
Isn't that great?
Wow.
Harris,
Oh, go ahead.
ask a question.
I'm still processing everything you said. I don't know if I have a question, but I just really, really appreciate you sharing your story. I was part of the group who researched you, and we presented you to the class, and there's only so much that we could learn online about you, and just some of the stories about your upbringing and what you've gone through with your parents. It's very sad to hear, but it's very inspiring to see how far you've come. So I just want to say I appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's get some more, Jason.
I'm actually kind of with Harris here. It's like, I'm just glad that you're here, man. And
Thank you.
I don't know how else to say that. Just when we did that thing, we talked, and we were all like, did you watch the video last night? Yeah, I cried 4 times, and I'm trying to write this, and you can't write anything because we literally watched that video.
Sorry I made you cry.
No, it's okay, man.
I apologize to a lot of people for doing
and then
that.
I took it
Actually,
home.
102 million people have watched that video, and I get shocked every time. And then people just had somebody from Amsterdam. As I was coming here, I stopped to check my emails and got up to Facebook. I just saw your video. I live in Amsterdam. I'm like, are you kidding me? I was like, what are you doing watching our videos? But thank
And
you.
I took it home to my wife. She's like, stop it. I gotta work. You're making me cry. I'm like, so it it's been really inspiring just to, I think, as Courtney said before, I mean, you saw one of the leaders. We've done 2 others. We did Mona And
Yeah,
then
she
the,
was a CNN hero too, wasn't she?
and then the gentleman who did the military,
Oh, Team Rubicon.
That's it.
yeah, so I mean, we've seen all this, but after yours, there was that buzz. And I've spoken to a lot of other people afterwards, and it's like everybody really wants to
Thank you.
jump in and help you.
You know, people ask how that video came about. So just to let you know, I didn't go to Upworthy. I was, you know, our charity, we were expanding it on our own. By the way, we have no corporate sponsors whatsoever. So every single thing that we have done, all 30,000 of our cases, has been because of our community. Because of our community all over the world, by the way, that has donated to us. We have literally received donations from every continent but Antarctica. I don't know what's up with the penguins, but every continent has actually donated to Comfort Cases. And so we have no corporate sponsors. And so what happened was I had done the Today Show about a year prior. Someone had told my story. By the way, that was a total ambush thing. I didn't realize it was going to be on the Today Show for that particular reason, but it was amazing. And so what happened was there was a young producer from Upworthy, Jess Blank, who saw my Today Show, and she reached out to me through Facebook and said, hey, can I call you? And I'm this guy, sure. Gave her my phone number, and she called me. She said, hi, I'm Jess Blank, and I'm with Upworthy. And she's like, and I didn't know what Upworthy was, by the way. I just want y'all to know. And she says, I'd like to come and do a video of you about your charity. And I said, okay. And by the way, this was like October. And I said, I don't have any time. First time I have availability is December the 15th. I said, because again, I work a full-time job. So I said, okay. So I forgot that she was coming. And the doorbell rang. And I opened the door, and there she's standing with a camera. And she's like, hey, it's Jess. And I was like, oh yeah. And so she came in the house, and that was my sunroom that we were sitting in, and she just started to roll the tape. And that's how it started. And she just videotaped us. And I didn't think anything about it. She left that day, didn't think another word about it. First week of February, I get a phone call from Jess saying, hey, your video's getting ready to come out. And I said, can I see it? And she said, no. She says, we have a policy here at Upworthy. You'll see it when everybody else sees it on Facebook. So I was in California on a business trip, and it was about 4 o'clock East Coast time when the video came out. And the next thing you know, I'm getting hits. People are sending me messages, and my phone's ringing like crazy. And you know, and I remember calling my husband, and my kids were on, and I said to the guy, I was on speakerphone, and I was like, oh, by the way, I was like, our video just went viral. And my son, Grayson, again, who said, no, Dad, it did not go viral. It just got dropped. You know, we are not going to be viral. And then he started naming all these bloggers who have viral videos. And I was like, oh, okay, it got dropped, you know. And 3 days later, I'm flying back from California to meet my husband and kids at a restaurant for my husband's birthday. And my phone rings, and it says, Los Angeles, California. And I'm thinking it's my office. And I answer, and I'm like, this is Rob. And the gentleman says, hey, this is Alex from The Ellen Show. I said, who is this? He said, Alex from The Ellen Show. I said, come on, stop this. And you know, I'm standing in this restaurant. Sure enough, it was Ellen. But at that point, he says, by the way, you have a viral video. And we were 20 million views. And I remember looking at my son Grayson saying, we are viral. And he grabs my husband's phone and Googles it and finds out, oh my God, you're viral. So it's been 102 million views since then.
Wow.
So we're thrilled to death. Thrilled to death.
Well, we're at least 15 of them.
Oh, good. Good.
At least 15 straight. Each.
Good.
Yeah.
We took you right over the top. We pushed you over.
I think we got it over that last
Thank
number.
you.
Yes.
We got you over 120 million.
That's exactly what we need. Thank
so
you.
I want to just ask you a question about you. So, so if you could tell us in 2 or 3 words, what would be like, what's inside your heart? Like, what is the 2 or 3 words that make you who you are?
I hope I'm humble. And I hope for my children that I truly made them proud. You know, I hate that question, by the way. At the end of the day, I want my children to know this wasn't about a case, but it was about a guy who had a story that shouldn't have been ashamed to tell it. And I was.
Great. Good. Anybody
Oh
else?
my God.
inspire others around you, not just for comfort cases, but, you know, you do work a full-time job, and what do you, like, how does it translate for you at work every day? You know, from a leadership standpoint, because we're here watching you, and we're like, oh my gosh, we wanna implement, we wanna lead, and we wanna make change. What does that look like for you at work?
You know, the thing for me for my job, I'm absolutely blessed to have my job. But I always remember every single day that number one, it is an absolute privilege for me to work with the other employees that I work with. And just because I might have the chief strategy officer title and I'm considered an executive, I'm still gonna sit in the coffee room and chat and talk when I'm in my corporate office. And I'm going to reach out to people and realize and let them know that I'm no different than, we're all the same. I really don't like glorified titles. I think that at the end of the day, it's about getting the job done. But, you know, listening to some of the things you talked about micromanaging and saying, hey, slide number 7, you know, letting people make mistakes. You know, maybe I wouldn't have done it like that. You know, that's not my fault.
Yeah, that's all right, just.
Maybe I would have not done it that way for a guy who's been in the business over 20 years, not 33. But, you know, allowing them to spread their wings, you know, and I think you as leaders need to do that too. You know, I say all the time when I'm interviewing someone is that I'm interviewing a person to take my job. And when I hire someone, that's the exact same thing I think about, is I want them to take my job. Because if they work that hard to take my job, can you imagine where they're gonna go? And I actually tell them that in an interview, is that I want you to start this interview is that you're interviewing for my job. Take it. Because you know what? If you climb that ladder that hard and you take it, you deserve it. And I'm gonna be there to stand next to you all the way. Just remember that. You know?
That's great, that's great.
Any other questions?
Well, this was absolutely fantastic that you came down to see us, or came up to see us.
Came up to see you?
I think it was a privilege, it's an honor, and we can't wait for you both to come out. I'm looking forward to our dinner
Yes,
tonight.
I
So you're
am,
gonna
I
have
am.
the Opportunity to sit with Kevin, we'll give you some updates next meeting, about how that went.
Can I take a class picture?
Yes,
Can I
please.
stand up there and I'll take a picture of us?
Absolutely.